What up, guys? It's Abigail with your episode of Roasted Toasted. Pretty much a series where I talk to you about my life and kind of help you get through this rocky 80 years of your lifetime. Sorry, there's a glare on my glasses, so I'm going to take those off. I'm in a cemetery because I enjoy being in cemeteries. You know, I spent a lot of time as a teenager in cemeteries because I just wish I was buried in one. Uh, Life is hard, and it's a lot better now, you know. But I came from absolute anger and rage to now I shoot rainbows out my ass because, like, if you see life any differently than that, then you're gonna have a hard time making it to 80. Been there, done that, and now I'm living to tell the tale for you guys. So that's why I'm always in cemeteries, so don't get sketched out. It's quite peaceful, and hey, you know, if they're lonely, you might as well spend some time with them. Anyway, I'm going to start off with this kind of giving you guys a perspective of how I see life. I've been through the ringer. I've pretty much had the duality of every kind of experience in my life, you know. Issues with parents, and I used to be very overweight, and now I'm not so much. So I've kind of lived through a lot of things in my life that I kind of want to share my perspective on, and also how I see the universe. And I talk with my hands a lot, so I'm sorry. I love my hands. These are my manifestation tools. I can create anything with these. So guys, you should look at yourself a little bit differently. You know, anybody, you got hands, you can build anything, you can do anything with these bad boys. So I love my hands. I've heard them quite a lot. So they've been through the ringer, but I had tattoos on my hands because I just kind of feel like the energy flows through my hands, and then I can manifest whatever I want. So you have the ability to do whatever. Keep that in mind, okay? With your hands, with your feet, with your eyeballs. So, anyway, I want to kind of share my perspective on how I see the world. You know, to me, it is all rainbows and butterflies. I see the beauty in absolutely everything, and you really have to, because kind of society has us living a different form of life than what I feel like our soul is meant to be doing. We're supposed to live true to ourselves in here to fulfill a purpose here on the planet, because everything operates off of balance to create a stable ecosystem, right? So balance is everywhere in the world, and a lot of times you don't realize it because we're so caught up in the hustle and bustle of here and there and whatever. I gotta go work 9 to 5 just to make enough money to live, and it's like absolutely exhausting. And in my brain, yeah, we can't win the game if we don't play the game, right? So we kind of have to live by society's standards, but we also need to kind of live by our purpose here on the planet. And then I'll get into that, because I feel like every one of you has a certain purpose that you need to find, and you will find that if you're true to yourself. And I mean, that's like really true. Like, you have to do a lot of shadow work. You have to go through the shame, the guilt. I've been there, done that, and you still work through it every day, right? You grow it every day. You're not done growing until you're dead in the ground. And even then, may all you rest in peace. And even then, if you're in the ground, I believe that you know, if you didn't learn the lesson of unconditional love, then you may have to come back to Earth and try again. I feel like that is our goal here, is to learn unconditional love, because that is the main connection of life that gets anything done. Like, you can't really do anything without another person, if you think about it. Like, yeah, you can live life on your own or whatever, but like in society standards, if I want to buy a car, if I want to go get groceries, if I want to go, you know, get really anything, I need another person to kind of provide that for me, right? Unless I live on my own, which a lot of people are trying to get back into living off the land, and that's kind of cool. I do enjoy that. We just need a little more skills and whatnot, and I'm interested in seeing how many people kind of start living off the grid and doing the chicken deal, and because society is a bit crazy right now. I'm not big in the social media and the news and all that jazz. I kind of try and live in my own bubble, and you can be like, Abigail, you don't know what's going on. Like, I know what's going on, I still peruse, but it's thrown in your face every single day, all the time. It's like, no wonder you guys are sad. You just keep breaking news tonight. This person, breaking news tonight. Bombs. Breaking news tonight. Cowabunga. Like, breaking news tonight. 7 children die in a cave. I don't understand. Like, I don't want to hear about that. And then they'll throw in the occasional, like, Wednesday's child. I'm just kidding, that's messed up. Or they'll throw in, the occasional whatever to kind of, here's some happiness. But it's all sad, and I don't want to live in the sadness, so I live in the life I create out here, which is actually pretty fucking great. Like, pardon my language, you're going to hear that a lot. I like to use sentence enhancers. So, let me get back to balance, because I'm just all over the place here. So, you guys, even you look at your work and in the job that you do at work, you have your position at your work. So that's something that you have to do every day, and that is your job, right? That's your purpose at your job, is whatever you do every day, whatever it is. So you need to apply that also to kind of what your soul's purpose is. And I'll get into the soul's purpose in a little bit, but I want to go back to balance. Okay? So you in that position at your job, create the balance between something else at your job. So, like, I'm going to use a dealership, for example, because I work for one. You have, all of your departments that kind of need to work together to create a whole something to happen, right? So, again, dealership. So, the sales guy needs to sell the car, and then the person needs to go into the finance box to do all the paperwork, and then the paperwork needs to come up to me and then get it all done, and then the car gets registered, and then the car deal gets posted, and then it gets told to the factory, and then the factory pays the dealership. Like, all of that needs to happen in order to get the money that they want as a business. So each person plays a role. The planet is the exact same way, and to me, those are zodiac signs, and we'll get into that, but I keep losing my track. I want to talk about balance today. So everything operates on balance. So I used your job kind of as an example. You fill that position. You filling that position helps fulfill the equation or create equilibrium balance to get to your main goal, which is the money, or to create a whole, is how I like to explain everything. You need your yin yangs and then your whole. You need those two energies that complete each other to create a whole. And there's good and bad in everything. So that's how the world works. Okay, you have balance. There is something for everything. And I like to use the explanation, of course, for bugs, because I love bugs. They're absolutely fantastic. You can judge me all you want, but they're freaking aliens on the planet, dude, and they are so neat. Like, bro, you ever look at a bug? I am a spider connoisseur. Like, spiders are so cool, man. And if you just, everybody is too quick to judge. Y'all judge everything so quickly. Like, stop it. Everything has a purpose, and everything has a right to live here. So freaking simmer down. What gives you the right to decide? Oh, I don't like you, I'm gonna kill you. Oh, I don't like you, I'm gonna kill you. Like, no, stop. I'm not gonna kill anything because it has a right to live here. Did you make it? No, you didn't. And you don't even give it a chance to understand its purpose. Oh, Abby, what's a spider's purpose? Okay. No, I'm going to start with mosquitoes, because, guys, everybody's always like, what's a mosquito's purpose? We'll get into this. So, balance on the planet. Everything needs a food source. And in my brain, the best way to figure out how important something is to the ecosystem as a food source is to see how many babies it has when it reproduces. The more of something there is, the more that the ecosystem relies on it. So you have all of your bugs, okay? food sources for everything. Bigger bugs, birds, fish, etc. Possums eat ticks. Like, you have bugs that feed everything. Mosquitoes, bats eat them. Fish eat them. Fish eat the larva. Like, they are a main food source, okay? Without mosquitoes, a lot of things would probably, be hurt by it. So that's mosquitoes. And then you have other bugs. And I just want to explain, like, everything on the planet has something as a counteractive balance to take it out, essentially, right? So, excuse me, I need some water. I get so overexcited. Excuse me. So, everything on the planet has balance. So, you got the bugs, but I like to use another example as, like, spiders, okay? There is something called a mantid fly, and it looks like a praying mantis with its arms there, and then the rest of the body looks like a wasp. Gnarly looking freaking thing, right? A mimic type of insect. It looks like a Pokemon. Coolest thing ever. But their main focus, okay, is to lay their eggs in a spider's egg sac, and then the larva just eats the baby spider eggs. Like, that is all the larva eats as larva, So the mantid fly was created to control the spider population as the eggs in the egg sac form. And that's just such, like, a cool thing to see, is to see that relationship what the fuck? That relationship between the mantid fly and the spider as population control. Because you need to have balance for everything. There can't be too many things. And I know, like, the universe has ways of balancing out humans. You have to. I don't want to get into humans right now. So, you have your mantid fly and your spider. And then it works for other things, too. Like, there's an equal and opposite action for things that are created. You have the cuckoo bird that is, like, dropped in random birds' nests just to, like, throw some out of there. Like, there's some population control. There's balance for everything, and there's other examples, of course, that I can pull out of my butt, but I can't even think right now because I'm just, like, thinking of so many things I want to tell you guys. So, balance. Everything needs balance. Everything is the yin and the yang. Excuse me. And to balance things out, I don't look at balance in the world. Like, I don't look at positive and negative. Like, yeah, excuse me, I take that back. I do look at it as kind of positive and negative. I don't look at it as good and bad. Okay, good and bad are words that we put to these things. And yes, they end up being equal and opposites of each other, but I don't call it good and bad because in the universe and in the ecosystem, nothing is good and bad. Like, it's energy and then the opposite energy. I'm probably way out in left field for you guys, but it's okay. And you don't have to listen to me. And I'm not even, like, this is how I think all the time. Dude, I literally walk through life and I am so conscious of absolutely everything, of every bug, of where I step, of just the whole environment around me, what's living there, what's existing. Ooh, the sunset is beautiful over here, guys. I don't know if you can see it. Here, let me grab you real quick. It looks bad on camera, you know what? Maybe if I flip it this way? No, we ain't flipping shit, Holmes. Alright. So anyway, you have, to me, it's not good and bad. You just have the energy and then you have whatever's going to balance it out, It's essentially karma. You do something bad, you go to jail, or you smoke cigarettes, you get lung cancer. Like, and honestly, like, this is how I see energy, right? I'm in left field. It's okay. You guys can hang out with me or you can leave. I don't care. So energy to me is a figure 8, right? So the energy on each side's like this. You have your positive, your positive and your negative. And then in the middle here, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Figure 8, they intersect. And it's like a never-ending loop because these energies, there are multiple possibilities. Those are kind of dimensions, right? So you figure 8 it. You have your energy here, good or bad, not, positive or negative, yes, positive or negative. So whatever they are, in the middle where they turn into that figure 8 there, where they intersect, these energies can mold and be whatever they need to be to create the equal balance on the other side, your figure 8. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but this is making sense, right? All right, no good and bad, positive and negative, yes. But the energy has ultimate possibilities and dimensions to manipulate or change into what it needs to be to create the balance opposite effect on the other side to create that whole circuit of that figure 8. Does that make sense? Are you still with me? So, universe runs on balance. Balance is that figure 8. Energy, no matter what it is going to transform to create the equal and opposite on the other side. We kind of learned this in school. Need some water again. How's everybody in the cemetery tonight, huh? Gee, it's quiet. I figured people would be dying to get in here. I'm so stupid. That was my karma. The ghosts are out. No, I'm just kidding. I used to ghost hunt freaking when I graduated high school. Hold on, I need to grab this, guys. When I graduated high school, and let me tell you, I have experienced some stuff. And I'm not like being one of those really weird people. Like, yeah, I am spiritual and all that jazz, and like I feel like I do see things sometimes. But like not super crazy where I got like the voice box and all that jazz. But I swear I've seen some statues move. I've had some children's handprints on my car and heard voices and all that jazz. So to me, spirits are definitely here, you know. I feel like we kind of leave residual energy wherever we go, and how much energy we exert at that time kind of stays there in that moment in time, and leaves an impact on the energy field. Like, I'm getting really deep with you guys. And this is like whole other scenarios. I'm just trying to get you guys like the base of how I feel, so then we can carry this out into like other life experiences. But I want you guys, whatever you have and any questions, if you want to just pick my brain, because I just feel like I know so much garbage. And how I see the world is just like I said, just like way in left field. And I don't want to change your point of views on anything. I just want you to maybe like consider how I see things, and it just lightens the weight of the next 80 years of your life, you know, because I've been through some shit and I want to talk about that shit, and I just want to kind of lay the baseline out though of how I think, so you guys can kind of understand how I started from the bottom. Now I'm here. And bottom is wanting to be buried in the cemetery with these folks. So, anyway, back to balancing those energies. Universe works on balance. So you go out and about in your day-to-day life, and I want you guys to start seeing what creates balance. So, you know, you want to drive your car, you got to put gas in it. You're balancing an equation. I want you to look in your life and see what equations are being balanced. And then you can kind of figure out what needs to be done to counteract what needs to be done, right? So you got the planet, okay, and everything on it has something equal opposite to take it out. You have an apple, you have a worm that's going to eat it. You have a plant, you have a worm that's going to eat it. I'm not saying everything is worms, But there is something to balance out everything. You have mice, which are a fantastic food source for many things. You can tell because they have lots of babies. Mice and rabbits, great food sources for fox, coyotes, birds, of course, and things of that nature. That's a balance. So the ecosystem is something where you really see the balance. But then you look about and just everything that we do. You have on the outside where nature needs to grow to balance something out. It's going to go ahead and do that. It's going to create something to balance out whatever you do. If you build something, eventually the earth is going to grow over it because it's like, that don't belong there. And you guys are going to say, yeah, humans do belong here. And yes, we do. But we are not fulfilling our purpose. I'm going to start this bad boy just because it's getting hot in here. If I squint a lot, it's because I can't see. I can probably wear my glasses now. No, I still have a glare, bro. I just don't want to squint for you guys, because then I sound like a dweeb. Sound like a dweeb, look like a dweeb. But anyway, I'll try and keep them. So, talking about... I'm just going to turn this air on. Sorry if you can hear it, it gets loud. I'm in my car because I have cats at my house and they won't leave me alone, and then I even shut the door and they're like, bah, 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 and I'm like, dude, I can't even handle this, so I come and record here. Again, in the cemetery, hanging out with these folks. We probably got everybody in the car. I didn't check. But anyway, so... are humans living their purpose? Of course not. I mean, some people might feel like they are, but we're still doing the 9 to 5. We're doing this society BS, and we really can't change that. I mean, we're trying as a society here and there, but the morals of what we're being run by are just incorrect. And I run on morals. It's not, you're not good or bad. I don't hate you how you look. I don't hate you if you're black or white. Red, orange, yellow, which is so messed up anyway. If you are on this planet, you have a right to be here. Like, you were born here. There you go. That's your right to live right there. And we're not even going to get into like other things because I'm so pro-choice. It's not even funny. To me, nature, if you ain't gonna take care of that thing, or if the conditions aren't right or whatever, like nature yeets it. Mama yeets the bird out the nest. Like, if there's something wrong with it, they leave it behind. So I'm totally understandable about, if you can't afford a child, do not bring it on the planet. Am I grateful that my parents did? Yeah, because I'm here and I can make a difference. I'm pretty sure, like my mom said, that I was freaking... I know they were going to abort me because she was young, and then I think she was on birth control too, so I just came out with this big ass forehead, and here I am with all my knowledge. Ugh. Tell you, made it through some garbage though. Anyway, I keep getting sidetracked because that's my ADHD, and this is why this is called Roasted Toasted, because you know what? I am, and I had to be for a long time because my life sucked. But you know what? Rainbow's out my ass now. Anyway, so balance, purpose. Humans, we cannot completely fulfill how we're supposed to be as a community because of how society has its kind of grip on us. But you can look at your purpose and you can kind of act in that way in your day-to-day life to kind of make yourself happy, feel like you're fulfilled, and make the 80 years that you have to live on this planet a little bit lighter. That's a long damn time. I still feel like my life is a contradiction. I enjoy being here a lot, but I have the duality of I also don't enjoy being here a lot, because the more you know, the sadder you are. But we can't be sad because then it just hurts us, right? And you're like, Abby, well, I can't help but being sad. Honey, I know, but you can. You just have to see things in a different light, okay? And that's where I want your purpose to come in. To me, everybody has a purpose, and this is where I bring in zodiac signs. You might not believe in that, and you know what? I really don't even know if I believe in that, but this is kind of a theory I have, so I am going to explain that to you. You have your zodiac signs. I'm an Aquarius. I am very outgoing. I think outside the box, as you can see. In my opinion, me being an Aquarius, I have a purpose to kind of shine light on people. Here's my perspective. Here, look at things this way. And then I can get their attention because I'm so outgoing. That is my purpose. Hi, I'm outgoing. Let me get your attention. Here, let me show you my perspective. Now I can change your life. There you go. To me, that is my purpose as an Aquarius. Me having that astrological sign gives me that opportunity to have that personality and be that person to fulfill my purpose in life. Does that make sense? So I'm going to use another example as a Virgo. They're very materialistic, right? Very down to earth, very methodical. They think about everything. And in them doing that, they have control of the earthly material realm. You know, they don't think outside the box like I do. They're not spiritual in the 3D, you know, like cuckoo. They are very down to earth. They take control of everything. You know, they're very strong. I got a thing for Virgo, so excuse me. They're very strong, and they can handle business, okay? So that is their job on this planet, is to handle business. All right, guys, it's getting kind of dark out here in the cemetery, so I'm gonna skedaddle. I recorded most of that video, and then like half of it didn't record and something went wrong, and there's not really any service out here anyway, so I probably should find a different place to record. But that's kind of a snippet of Roasted Toasted, and I'm going to get into it a lot more, and it's going to be every Saturday, and we can just talk about life and all of the crazy stuff. Again, I'm sorry if I'm squinting. I can't fucking see a thing because I'm blind. So, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time, and I want you to drop everything in the comments. I want you to pick my brain. I want you to ask my perspective on life. I want you to ask me how to get through things. I want you to just ask because I've been through it all, and we'll get into all the things I've been to. But I love you guys, and we're going to make it through this 80 years together on this roller coaster. I'm 35, so I don't have 80 years to go. But I love you, and we'll do it together, okay? Bye.